Thank you. Craig Dawson and Jay Rodriguez are with us. It's your best win of the season, isn't it, for starters?
Yeah, of course. We've had to work hard tonight, and there was great discipline throughout the team, and it was a great victory in the end.
You go 1-0 down, and then you come up with two very quick, very well taken goals. What are your memories of them?
Yeah, it was just obviously it came up and just took them really well. It's just a case of how we were playing today. We wanted to be solid, but also threatening, because we know how good of a side they are attacking, but we feel that we could exploit them defensively, and I think that's what we did.
And should it have been 3-1? What a finish first up. Were you, when the ball went in the net, did you say to yourself, this could be a VAR moment?
Well, we saw it just before that, so we know the system's in play. You've got to keep focused until the referee gives the goal, and we weren't sure, but he gave it in the end.
What is it like, that wait? And it was quite a long wait that time, wasn't it? As it was for the penalty decision at the other end soon after. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's just a time delay. Obviously, there's a lot of waiting around and uncertainty. So you just got to keep focused and keep ready for when the play starts again. It's
a famous West Bromwich Albion Cup win, this, and you ended up playing midfield, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. We had a few injuries, and it was just a case of doing whatever we can for the team. And yeah, I was in there in the midfield. Jakob was shouting at me. It was it's a lovely feeling to come here and win and be as hard working as we are, and togetherness. I think that's the best feeling out of the day.
And as I think you are aware, Bomber Brown, Tony Brown, who won here in 1968 with West Bromwich Albion, he was watching, and of course all Albion people would say this is a great tribute to Cyril Regis. So congratulations and well done.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot. Thank you. It's it's a great thing what we've done today, and just want to carry it on now. But no, the legend Cyril Regis. It means a lot to all of us and the fans, and what a man.
Well done, boys.
Cheers. Thank you.
And absolutely, we'd all echo Jay Rodriguez's thoughts. He was brilliant today. That's 5 goals in his last 6 games now for the man of the match, as they quite rightly clapped the fans who travelled here today. A word about Liverpool, though, Stephen. They finished strongly, but Jurgen Klopp, who's already back in the dressing room with his players, he's not going to be happy, is he, with the overall performance today?
No, he won't be happy, especially with the first 45 minutes. Liverpool weren't good enough. West Brom, it could have been more than 3-1. I think West Brom caused Liverpool all kinds of problems, especially him, Jay Rodriguez. Yeah. Man of the match all day long. I thought his performance was fantastic. His pace, his energy, his quality. If you're Gareth Southgate, you're definitely putting a tick next to his name for the next squad, in my opinion.
You think so?
I thought that was a performance worthy of getting back in the England squad. I know he's been out and had a long injury, but I think that was his comeback game, to say, look, I'm back, the injury's gone. And that was the Jay Rodriguez of old, the Southampton one, who was causing all kinds of Premier League teams problems, and Liverpool couldn't handle him today. Simple as that.
Jay was brilliant today. Liverpool certainly started. Of course, you can see the draw for the 5th round here on BT Sport on Monday evening. Let's just confirm some of the other results for you. There's been some cracking games and some surprise results as well today. Fousseni Diabate scored twice on his debut as Leicester cruised past Peterborough. That was the first game of the day here on BT. Feels like a long time ago now. Coventry beat Stoke in the 3rd round. And once again, the team from a higher division today, with Maxime Biamou scoring the winner. Get this, Coventry had more supporters at the game than the home side did. John Stead maintained his record of scoring in every round of the FA Cup this season. My stat of the day for you is that County's starting 11 had more Premier League appearances between them than Swansea's did. And Southampton have not won in the Premier League since November, but their FA Cup run goes on after Javi Gracia made a losing start as the Watford boss. And Will Griggs scored twice as the 2013 FA Cup winners Wigan beat Premier League opposition for the 2nd time this season. So it was a busy old day in the FA Cup, and it all finished here with Liverpool's defeat to West Brom. Let's just have a brief chat about where this leaves Liverpool, because this fight for the top 4 was already intense. It's going to be a big ask for them to repeat what you managed all those years ago and win the Champions League. So this is a damaging defeat for their season.
Yes, this club's about winning trophies, so to get knocked out of this competition is a big blow for Jurgen Klopp and a big blow for this team, because this was a realistic trophy that they could have went on and won. Obviously, they're not going to be one of the favourites to win the Champions League. You never know what can happen in that competition, of course, but this was their best chance of silverware. And now, obviously, they focus on trying to cement that place in the top 4, of course they do, but it doesn't get away from the fact that this result hurts Liverpool big time.
It feels like a long time ago that you were off your seat applauding a quite remarkable finish right here in front of us after just a few minutes. And Jurgen Klopp's got to find some way of lifting the players after that defeat to Swansea and then the defeat here as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he does, but they have to lift themselves as well, Jake. You know, it can't just always be Jurgen lifting them. They've got to take responsibility for the last 2 results and bounce back against Huddersfield very quickly, because it comes around quick, as you know. That finish is sublime. It's an absolutely wonderful finish. But then from there, Liverpool caused themselves all kinds of problems. They lose the second ball with Wijnaldum. Trent's not brave enough in the duel, and then what a terrific strike at the top end. Absolutely wonderful finish.
How key was it that West Brom got back into it so quickly, do you think?
I think it's very key here at Anfield. I think momentum is one of the big things that obviously Liverpool have always thrived on, and they just didn't allow that. I was so surprised by the level of positivity that they've shown after conceding that goal. Jay Rodriguez, as we spoke about, was at the heart of everything, but they were on the front foot, and the defensive issues for me continued with Liverpool. They were all at sea for a couple of goals, and that'll be one of the big disappointing things for Jurgen Klopp as well.
Liverpool were still celebrating that goal. They hadn't switched. Yeah. They hadn't switched the mentality into game mode. They were still celebrating the goal. Smack right bang in your face straight away.
What's that about? Is that a lack of maybe? I'd imagine you moments later is you're clapping the lads and you're saying, "Look, get your head screwed on."
Well, coaches tell you from a young kid all the way growing up, you're at your most vulnerable after you've scored a goal, because 7 or 8 people run to the corner flag, they're dancing, they're celebrating and stuff, and you've got to switch your mentality very, very quickly to get back into game mode. And I think Liverpool were still celebrating the goal and got caught with the sucker punch.
Your reaction to Stephen's comment that he felt this was a sort of landmark day for Jay Rodriguez and perhaps forces Jay back into Gareth Southgate's thinking?
I agree. Me and Stevie have been talking about him throughout the whole game, about how impressed we were with him. The injury that he sustained was a big one. And for 6 months, he has been probably a little bit off the pace. And as Stevie said, this seemed to be that comeback game. That this is the Jay Rodriguez that was picked for England at that particular time, that was so close to going to the World Cup, I think it was around that time. He's back. He was strong. His hold-up play was sensational. His kind of that presence that he had, his finishing ability was there for us all to see. But he just caused absolute havoc for those defenders. They were a nightmare. He was a nightmare for them to deal with. They couldn't actually handle the physical nature that he brought to the game.
This is at Anfield as well. It's a tough place to come. Liverpool haven't lost here since April. To come away from home to a place like this and put in a performance like that. And it wasn't just the quality, the goals and that touch that he brings down on the chest and the crossfield pass. He works his socks off. He never stopped running and hassling defenders today and pressing, and he epitomised West Brom's performance today. I thought they were unbelievable.
If he was still at Southampton, Liverpool might try and buy him. No reaction. Right, let's chat to Chris Foy. Look, Chris, we really need to chat about this VAR thing, because just to give you a sort of a flavour of what social media are saying, there's absolutely no issue with the fact that VAR gets the decisions right, and today the general feeling is that it did get the decisions right, but it did so almost at the expense of the people who've paid to be in Anfield today, because they didn't see on the big screens what was going on. They didn't really have any idea what was happening, and it delayed big moments in the game and created quite an eerie atmosphere. So how would you sort of surmise it today? Because it feels like it was a big day for VAR, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a big day for VAR, and I think we've actually seen the referee for the first time go to the screen, and it's only the 6th time we've used it, as I mentioned earlier. But the difficulty you've got at Anfield is they don't have a big screen what the fans could look at. So that is something that people will have to think about. They'll have to decide how they're going to do it, and I'm sure behind the scenes work is being done that keeps the fans involved, because they're a very important part of football. Do
you think that that's something that's going to become inevitable, that perhaps people at home will hear the referee having a conversation on a microphone maybe, and certainly that the people in here will see what's going on the VAR screen? Because we can't get caught up in a TV bubble and alienate the people paying 50, 60, 70 pounds to sit in here, can we?
Well, the big thing is, if you look at rugby, whether it be rugby league or rugby union, you see that now, where people can listen to what the referee's saying, what the match official who's reviewing the incident is saying, the video person. They can look at the screen, they've got access to that. So I think that's a big thing moving forward, that everybody should be able to see it. And when that will happen, or where that will happen, I'm not sure, but it's certainly being discussed as we speak, especially after what's happened tonight.
But the whole point of VAR was that it was becoming such big business. We need something now that means decisions are right. And as we look through the incidents, we could look at them and say the decisions were right.
Absolutely. I mean, the first goal is that was chalked off offside. Gareth Barry is clearly attempting to play the ball. It's non-subjective. It's black and white. He's offside, and the goal quite rightly is ruled off. So we move on, and then of course we've got the beauty of just looking at the screen in front of me now with the blue lines up here. Everybody can see that. now, and we look at it and we go, great, fantastic. It's a big decision, it's a major decision, it's a key match incident, and it's right, and that's the most important thing.
The penalty incident. The big thing for people is that as soon as this was seen, why didn't the VAR official just tell the referee, look, give a penalty, I've seen it, trust me, it's a penalty?
Well, that's because it's subjective. That's what the referee will look at. The VAR, the video assistant referee, will advise the referee to look at the screen. I think problems arose in this situation with where it was situated. I think, again, this is another part of VAR, is where we actually put the monitor for the match official. And people got a little bit upset. People were sort of milling around and trying to look. That's a big thing we need to look at. You can see now on the screen it was in between the technical areas. Whether that's ideal, again, is something that we look at. I mean, there's lots of questions been answered with VAR, and tonight I think we found more questions that needed answering. And over the next few days, weeks, months, people will be reviewing some of the procedures that have been in place tonight.
Just give us your thoughts on if there's a VAR monitor there and you're a sub or something. I mean, you're letting the referee know what you think. You're turning around. You're trying to look at the screen, aren't you?
I think it's only normal. Your emotions get involved over big decisions, and the managers are going to get involved, so they will have to maybe reposition that. But I think it'll help when there's a big screen. Listen, this will evolve. VAR will evolve. It'll get better. The important thing for me is not the delays and how long it takes. It's getting the decisions right. That's the key, and it worked really well today, I thought.
Yep, and that's now 4 missed penalties in their last 7 for Liverpool. Let's have a look at the 3-1 incident now in the game. It was a game, as you know, packed full of incidents, packed full of moments. What did you make of this one, Jermaine?
Well, it's, when the ball comes into the box eventually, I just think it's just good play from Salah, to be honest with you. I think that it's very fortunate from Firmino, the touch. He gets his body in a good position. But in fairness to Salah, he's composed at the time. He doesn't lash at it, slides it into the corner. But West Brom just didn't panic. It was weird. I mean, I know they threw the bodies in the box. It was a little bit too late for me. I was so surprised Van Dijk didn't go higher up the pitch later on. But no, it was a good finish from Salah. But I'm not sure I felt that they were going to get the equaliser, Liverpool, which was disappointing.
OK, right, let's get the thoughts then of Alan Pardew. He's in the tunnel speaking to Paul.
Well, Alan, what an incredible cup tie, and what an incredible record you as a manager are building on these kind of occasions here. What were the secrets this time?
I think just our positivity. We set up as 4-4-2, which with the team they picked was kind of brave. But I said to the players, they're in a good place. They've done terrifically well without getting the points perhaps they deserve. But I thought we deserved what we got today. We struggling at the end because we were running out of bodies. And the VAR system was a problem because I think we lost a player to hamstring because we were hanging around and waited so long for a decision. So that's something else to think about on that.
That's Gibbs.
I think Howe, actually. So that's something else we have to worry about and I have to look at next time we play with that system. But it was tough on us, 2 tough calls. I don't know, your pundits will pick them apart. Some might agree, some might disagree. But from the sideline with the fans and everything else, it was strange. It wasn't what I would like to see going forward.
Just on that, was there clear communication to you as the West Brom manager of why the decisions were reached?
The 4th official did say to me that it was offside, which I found hard to believe from a corner. Seeing it again, it's very, very tight. I don't think in any other situation that would have been cancelled out. Yeah. So that's something else about VAR. Is it going to take away goals that, when we start getting 0-0s and 1-0s and all that? I don't know. It was just weird. But we waited so long for the decisions, and the stadium was flat and everything else. And every goal was becoming a sort of a mockery. We were waiting for the decision. Yes. Anyway, besides that, I'm just very proud of the players, and they should be proud of their performance and take that confidence into our Premier League.
Good little run now, isn't it? Just 1 defeat since Boxing Day, I think.
Yeah, and very unlucky at West Ham, I might add. But no, we haven't turned the corner because we haven't got enough points. But we were showing signs of it. Now we need to deliver the points.
Big week ahead, of course. Now, you've mentioned more injuries tonight. It's not the strongest squad in terms of numbers either. What is the state of play in that respect?
Well, we'll have to patch ourselves up tomorrow. You know, it's not ideal playing Man City on a Wednesday before a really big home game for us. So I'll have to manage the squad. I mean, I don't want to take away from the group though today. Terrific performance and a great game for you guys. You know, it really was a great game on the side of the pitch, and all credit to Liverpool because all through that VAR system, I thought their players conducted themselves well as we tried to, but we were a bit frustrated with the two decisions going against us.
No, it was totally memorable stuff, and I'm not taking from the occasion, Alan. Here comes the Johnny Evans question
Yes,
again.
Okay, you can say it now. Yeah, I mean, you know, is the windows open and Johnny is being approached by big clubs. As yet, we haven't got an offer that's right for a player of his quality, which he showed tonight. And he's playing with a, look like a hamstring, but we'll have to wait and see now. So even that might affect that whole decision. And that's what the window's about. It's a moving feast, and you have to react.
Great performance tonight, well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We shall watch this space with interest. Well, Alan clearly had an opinion on the VAR. Let's get the thoughts of both of you as well. And we'll do it while discussing the goal. But there was a real delay before West Brom were awarded this one because there was 3 separate offsides that the VAR official was looking at. So the goal was given. In the end, we got the correct decision. But it took a couple of minutes. What was your overall impression of VAR being used today, Stephen?
I thought it was good. I thought they got the big decisions right. Yeah, of course, at times it took a little bit of time, but these decisions are important. And I think he gave a few strange answers there to his interview. I thought he was saying a dubious offside. It was a clear offside. Gareth Barry was in an offside position. Yeah, it went against him, but VAR got that decision spot on. He also said maybe that Kieran Gibbs might have got a hamstring injury because of the time delay, but there might have been a serious head injury on the pitch today that might have took 8-9 minutes. Yeah. And then Kieran Gibbs could have done his hamstring. So then is he going to blame that person for getting injured for Kieran Gibbs? Delays happen, don't they?
Correct,
The decision might have been a Liverpool player offside today if it takes 3-4 minutes.
I mean, also, you've got fans walking away from a game today, and players and managers, and does anybody feel any level of unjust because of the decisions that have been made?
Probably a level of confusion for some of the fans in here. That's what leads sorting out.
Confusion,
They will be saying, how are those decisions
That'll evolve
reached?
though, won't it? Eventually you'll have the big screens like the rugby, and then you'll hear the referee and it'll get sorted out. But it will take time. You can't expect them to have all the answers and it be spot on from day one.
Work in progress. Even if it's a work in progress in a huge FA Cup game. But listen, we don't make the decisions, do we? Well, if Liverpool are going to pick up some silverware this season, it can now only be the Champions League. Let's get the reaction to Jurgen Klopp after this defeat to West Brom. He's with Paul.
Well, Jurgen, Liverpool are 1-0 up and it looks the perfect start. What happened that it went away from Liverpool so quickly?
Well, that was everybody saw, so we made big mistakes and let them come back in the game. So it's not really to explain because it's obvious what we made wrong in these situations. The open balls we had, we won the first ball, then we lose the second and the third. So it makes no sense. You have to be much more clinical in a situation like this, or shoot it on the stand if you are not sure where you can pass the ball. Second one again, wow, really bad defending. The whole group involved in that situation. Too easy, wingers not involved, not really compact. Then we let them play the ball, make the cross. So, and then the goal scorer is completely free in the box. So, and that's not how defending should be. As for the second goal, then we don't use the chance with the penalty. That can happen, of course, but the third one was then in extra time of the first half. So that must be offside. It's unbelievable. It wasn't. I know meanwhile, but it must be usually. It's easy to defend if you want to. You push up, they pass the ball back, and Dawson is in offside. So he wasn't. He was, when he celebrated the goal, it was like, what can I do if they let me do this? Second half, of course, we had to show character. There's no doubt about character. So we chased the game, scored late. Second goal, maybe a little bit too late, but we did a lot of good things. But if you start like this, that makes a game complicated. That's how it is. You cannot play your best football. It's quite difficult. You can, but of course it's rare that you will come back to your best shape. So it was of course a little bit hectic. They tried to save some time, that's normal, and so at the end, to be honest, West Brom deserved it, because they scored 3 goals, we only 2, and we have to blame ourselves for this. It's all about us, but compliment to West Brom. They did well. They fought it with passion. They had to change 2 players in the first half. That's not what you want to have in a game, of course. So they suffered as well. But yeah, that's it.
Not happy?
No, he wasn't happy after Swansea, and you can see by the interview, you very rarely see Jurgen Klopp that down. It's the most down I've probably seen him, actually. But I thought he was very honest. Big mistakes cost Liverpool today, defensive errors. But they've been on a fantastic run here. So you can't be too critical of them in terms of the form here at Liverpool. But that was a shock result today. Probably the worst I've seen Liverpool here this season. I've watched them a lot. And yeah, he needs a reaction against Huddersfield. They need to bounce back. It's very rare that they lose 2 games on the spin. And the players need to lift the manager there. You can see he's clearly down. And they need a big performance very quick.
OK, so a disappointing day for Liverpool. But let's just rewind the clock back to your former club earlier on. Almost a very disappointing day for them. In the end, just quite disappointing. They'll be pleased they're still in the draw for the 5th round. But let's take nothing away from Newport. They gave us a really cracking cup tie.
They did. I mean, this was it's a throwback, really. We expected it to be tough, I thought, for Spurs on the basis that, you know, the elements that Newport were going to bring into it, the hard work, the pitch cutting up, and they delivered on all of that. And you know, Spurs pulled their get out of jail free card in Harry Kane right at the end of the game to do exactly that. And we're fortunate, you know, to get the draw. Really, I mean, I thought they performed better in the second half, and it's unwarranted the draw. Don't get me wrong. But I think the most positive thing was that, you know, the Newport players, the fans, you can have that day out at Wembley, hopefully a bit more money in the bank, and yeah, a classic FA Cup tie.
Yeah, and look, a disappointing day for your team, but it shows the FA Cup is alive and kicking as ever. Wonderful day as well today for Coventry. Wigan all had a brilliant result today.